talking about how big a teraparsec is, and within a reasonable 93 billion light years on average, there's said to be at least 2 trillion galaxies on average. And it really got me thinking, because a lot of people really don't, and again, like I said before we get into this video, I don't mean to make videos like this to insult people. That's not my intention on this channel. I'm just here to make people realize that there's just a lot of things we really don't know. It has been like this, but at the same time, though, humanity really needs to let go of the things that we were told in the past and really start looking for more and more perfect answers than we've ever. So make better accomplishments, and instead of all the things that we believe now. So for all the religions that people believe now, we could easily say that they're wrong, because there's just so many things we don't know in this case. And the way the universe works in this case is the more possibilities there are, there's a better chance that humanity is wrong. Again, I made this point multiple times, but it's just under a different video. But the way I'm starting to understand how the universe really is, it's you can kind of understand it it's already infinite, because it's always in motion. There's always energy. Everything is energy. The universe is more perfect than we are. And heck, there's even been some people that have said that the concept of a God is the universe. So really the universe equals God or a deity, and it doesn't necessarily have to be just a magical man that floats in the sky. But but when you really think about it, though, I think that everybody should be an agnostic, because really that's what everybody really is, whether they believe it or not. Because again, when you're a skeptic that likes to consider any possibility, but at the same time, though, you still have your doubts here and there on certain things, and that's not always what you believe. I'll be honest, even Christians do the same thing. They'll say that they believe in this, but maybe they're edgy at the same time. Some people say it's cherry picking, but really I think it's just a sense of skepticism and agnosticism, if you can say that's a real word. People everybody's an agnostic, because we don't know everything. Humanity has come to that realization. We just mislabel it. A lot of people just don't realize it now, but in time people will, that humanity just, for the most part, we can, like the old saying goes, you can run but you can't hide. You can, sure, yeah, you can deny the fact that humanity doesn't know everything. But at the same time, though, it ain't going to last forever. Eventually at some point somebody can say that they don't believe in this, but then they start believing in something different over the years, because the human mind eventually adapts to something else, and it's just, there's no way around it. You have to just accept that. I'll be honest with you, I really never called myself a religious person, even though I was in church in the past, like 15 years ago and stuff like that, because I was young, my parents took me. But really, at the end of the day, though, it's a lot more than you think it is, though. It's not. It can't be any of these things. It can't be any of the deities that we worship, because there's just so many things out. There's just so many contradictions to for the religions that people have brought proof towards. They've been easily refuted. Again, if they were really 100% proof that this God existed, look at all the things the Bible says about Christianity. There's been a lot of inconsistencies with it. There's been people that have linked it to them stealing from the pagans. People have said it's a scam, and a lot of people have said that the only people that worship it are the people that really don't understand these things yet. And at the same time, though, the people that only preach it are the people that are trying to take advantage of people. So when you have stuff like that flying around, and there's a past that happened that most people just realize they stole from other people, then you really start to realize that that can't be all true. And the way I'm saying right now is that, again, I think everybody is an agnostic, because the universe just, even if humanity just outright refused to believe that there was more out there, it don't matter. The universe, even if you look at when humans were born, there is just this huge time period before humanity came into existence, and there was all this infinite space. So really, if you think about it, just with time and space as the prime evidence, that it's factual evidence, that we are wrong about everything. All you have to understand is how big the universe is, and how long it's existed before humanity came into, like how many things that exist, how many possibilities there are. Because here's the way I'm looking at it right now. People say that nothing came from something. People say at the same time you can't have nothing that came from something. The way I look at it, life is defined as a possibility. That everything exists, but like with the, well, like for example, like you look up at the, there's an infinite number of possibilities. So therefore, I believe that the universe can be infinite because that is a possibility. It can be infinite because it just is. There's no walls that are going to prevent you from. I mean, even if we like, there's a difference between the observable universe and maybe how big the universe itself is. And then like you could take like something like Stephen Hawking said, where like black holes are like gateways to like other dimensions, and I mean that makes sense. Maybe there's an infinite number of dimensions. There's an infinite number of galaxies. There's an infinite number of, you know what I mean? Like it exists because that's just the reality of it. There's no limits on it, and there never will be because it just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. There's no end to it. I mean, yeah, you could still have people that will argue, say maybe it's just too big to really put a number on. Maybe there is a limit. And maybe you're right, but at the same time, though, it could still get bigger and bigger and bigger, so there's no end to that. I'll give you another example, just in case you don't know what I mean. Think about how many people, maybe there's life on other planets. Again, if you've ever played the video game series Star Ocean, or The Record of Agaris. I mean, I use this as an example because this is a perfect example. There's more out there than what we know. And when you come to that realization that there's more out there than that of which we know, the idea isn't like humans don't need to know everything. We just need to know for a fact that there's more, how much more is out there that we don't know. And that's already evidence that humanity is wrong about everything. And that's always been my argument with religious people. I mean, yes, you can say, I mean, I'm neutral. Some people look at me and they say, well, how can you be an agnostic if you don't know? Well, that's the thing. I can't particularly argue, like, specifically what gods really do exist. But I can say at the same time, though, that because the universe is infinite and because humanity doesn't know everything and because the more possibilities there are, that there's a better chance that we are, in fact, wrong about all these things, that actually makes sense. And that all by itself can be proof that there's just a better chance that people are wrong. Because again, humanity wasn't there since the beginning of time. Humanity hasn't met any gods, so how would they have known? People claim that, but it's all bought and paid for. I mean, any claim that people can bring up of God, at least particular details or like specific religions, can easily be refuted. Considering the alteration that humanity doesn't know, like if we don't even know our own origins, how can people explain what created the universe? Maybe there was no creator. You see, and that was something that stuck to me over the years. I've had people tell me that over the years. I used to believe that anything was possible, but that was another one that always used to confuse me. Was that I'd always hear people say, well, maybe there is no creator. And I looked at that and I'd be like, really if you think about it, maybe it's true. Because again, the universe didn't have to have a beginning or an end. I mean, again, the universe itself could very well be something that is beyond human comprehension. But at the same time, though, whether you look at it or not, maybe there is a creator, maybe there isn't. But even if there is a creator, you would still have all these questions, like maybe where did this creator come from? And maybe this creator, like let's say the Christian God does exist, for example. Maybe to humans they might say, oh, well, he knows everything, it knows everything, it's all, it's all written here. But maybe it really doesn't. Maybe it's more perfect than we are, but maybe it has questions like where its own origins came from, and it's still trying to figure out all these things that it doesn't know and try to understand the reality of life. And life isn't, there's always more out there than what you think, because we haven't seen everything. But at the same time, though, there's stuff out there that, you'd have to see it to believe it, But seeing how humanity hasn't really left this planet as much, it's really kind of hard to say what life on another planet would really be like, because at least for humanity right now, the days of Star Trek haven't really became a reality yet, or Star Wars, or just minus the Space Wars and all that. Sure, yeah, we might have sent probes to like Venus and all that, and observed its planet like really, really closely. But at the same time, though, we haven't really seen what it really looked like, because, well, I mean, we haven't really been there ourselves, and maybe in the past that there was life on it, but maybe it's all just nothing but a distant memory, and if there really is a way to go digging through its core and trying to understand maybe where fossils are at, we can understand what really created everything, and maybe humanity can at least find its own origins and find our own ancestry. Because again, the universe is a very mysterious place, but at the same time, though, it's like, even it has its answers. The only thing you have to do is just figure it out and get out there and figure it out. And, and I wouldn't doubt that maybe there's alien civilizations that are, even as we speak, flying around the universe right now somewhere. Because the only thing, like I said before, the only thing that humanity can ever do is underestimate things. But at the end of the day, if we limit ourselves based on what we don't know, then that progress becomes even slower. And we should really be honest with ourselves, because if it's not true to begin with, well then, why pretend like it is now? Then, you know what I mean? If there's no good reason, why not just, do everything that we should first before we can do anything? So let's think of it like this. If we were to take into consideration that humanity is wrong about a lot of things, but at the same time, though, we can understand that there's more ideas out there that are better than we are, then it only makes sense to try and find those logical conclusions. Forget everything that's fake, or label it fake, and then label everything that's true. It's a fact that humanity doesn't know everything. It's a fact that the only way to make progress is to go there. The only way to go there is to make it realistic. So in order to really go into the world of the universe and really understand what's beyond this planet, is to find it, and then to find a way to get there and achieve the way the world works. So we need to be honest with ourselves, and we need to embrace it, because it ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Time and space are two powerful inventions of origins. You have time itself, which is a understanding of being able to, everything has like a different time period thanks to time, because it can all be labeled differently. In space, it's just an infinite number of volume where you can store that at a different time period in a different location. And then you have the alpha stage, for example, where or the omega, the alpha, the omega can create everything. And when you think about that, the more powerful something can become, the more progress it can make. And I feel that whatever powers or whatever possibilities that may detail, if you can understand the cause of something, then you can most certainly lead an effect on it as well. And so, humanity has proven over time that it can do stuff. We just got to keep it going and try to understand how to achieve things, but for all the right reasons. And then we can understand the origins of life and understanding our own origins itself and beyond that.